In this video, I'm going to explain some of the Chinese characters that come up in the Legend of Korra series. So I'll be reading out the Chinese words in Cantonese, so if you're learning Chinese in Mandarin, then this might sound a bit different from what you're used to. So let's start off with the intros. We have Avatar Kyoshi, and this word over here is Tou, which means earth. And this character over here is Ke, which means strong. And then moving on, we have Avatar Roku. This word over here is Fall, which means fire. And this word over here is Li, which means something that's very fierce and strong. So we usually use this word to describe fire. And you can actually also use this word to describe people as well, so it's quite a flexible character. And then now we have our Avatar Aang, and then this word over here is Hei, which means air. And then in traditional Chinese, we usually write this word out with an extra component here at the bottom. And this character is Wo, which means harmonious. And then depending on the context, this word can actually take on many different meanings. So you see this in Chinese all the time. A single character can take on many different meanings depending on the context. And in this case, this word is going to mean harmonious. And then finally, we reach Avatar Korra. So this character over here, as you might have guessed, this is water. But in modern Chinese, we write water out in such a way. And then this particular character that you see over here is the old form of the word water. So thousands of years ago, Chinese people would write Chinese characters on turtle shells. And then back then, water, the character for water looked like this. But then over time, over the years, the character started to change. And now the word looks like this. So if you want to write the word water in Chinese in modern days, you would use this character instead of this. And finally here we have the word xin, which means good. And this word means good in a very general sense. So you can use this word to describe someone who's good at doing something, or you can describe someone who is a good person, like a kind person. So this word means good in a very general sense. Moving on to the titles for the 4 different books in the show. Book 1 is called Air, and I hope you recognize this character from here because it's the exact same character. It means air. And then moving on to book 2, we have Sunling. And this first character, Sun, means God. And then this second character, Ling, it by itself actually also means spirits. But in Chinese, sometimes we like to chain 2 different characters together to form this compound phrase, which will take on a different meaning. And in this case, chaining up these 2 particular characters will also mean spirit. So Sunling means spirit. In book 3, we have change. So this character, Yek, this means change. But then in modern Chinese, we actually usually use this character to represent easy instead. So when we're trying to describe something that's easy, we would use this character. But then in classical Chinese, it's more common for us to use this character to stand for change. So in modern Chinese, when we're trying to describe change, we have other characters for that. But in ancient Chinese, in classical Chinese, when we're trying to say change, we would use this character instead. So an example is a very famous classical Chinese text, the Book of Changes. So this is a very famous classical Chinese text. And then this text in Chinese, it's called Yekgeng. So you see how this character can be used in this sense. So the pronunciation of this character is actually also going to change depending on its meaning. So if you're using it to describe easy, then it's pronounced yi. And then if you're using it to describe change, then it's pronounced yik. So it's slightly different. So you also need to change the pronunciation according to the meaning. And then finally, book 4, we have penghang. This first word, peng, it by itself means flat. And then the second word, hang. This is a word that's not really used nowadays by itself. So if you ask me the specific definition of this single character, I actually don't really know. But used in such a compound phrase along with this other character, then this entire phrase will mean exactly what it's supposed to mean, balance. So now we move on to scenes from the show itself. This is from book 1. This is the part where Korra teams up with Tarrlok to take down Equalist hideouts. And here we see the character Peng. So I hope you recognize this from here because it's the exact same character. Once again, this means flat, and it can also be used to represent ideas like equality and fairness. And here we have Amon, 周 si, 答案. So Amon, 赵西 means is, that one means answer. So Amon is the answer. And then here, this is a scene from book 2. This is the part where Jinora goes to the spirit world, and then she goes to Wan Shitong's library, and she learns about Vatu and the Tree of Time. So these characters over here mean the Tree of Time. So Sigan means time. Ji is a grammatical term. It's kind of hard to translate this. If you know Japanese, I think it's similar to no, but I might be wrong because my Japanese is less than rudimentary, so don't take my word for it. And here, the word su means tree, so the tree of time. And you can see that, interestingly, the order is reversed in Chinese. So in English, you have the tree of time, so you have tree and then time, but then in Chinese, you have time and then tree. Here we have this scene from book 3. This is the part where Zaheer talks about this poem from Guru Lahima, and it contains the key to flying. And then for this particular couplet, you need to read this from top to bottom, and then from right to left. So sometimes Chinese is ordered in such a way. So we have Chut Chan Sai Gei Bun. So one thing I should add is that this character over here should be written like this. So I'm not sure if this is some type of font that I don't know of, but this word should be written in such a way. And you see that it looks nothing, this word that you see in the show looks nothing like the way it should be. So I'm not sure what type of font they're using. But this particular phrase over here, Chut means to exit. Chan Sai means like the world, the realm of human affairs. Geibun means shackles. So exit the shackles of humanly affairs. And Zaheer himself reads this out as let go of your earthly tether. So they basically mean the same thing. Yap means to enter. Hui means emptiness. So Zaheer reads this out as enter the void. Mo means nothingness. Yu means like. Feng means wind. So nothing like the wind. So it's like be empty like the wind. And so Zaheer reads this out as and become wind. So it's pretty much the same thing. So this is the poem from book 3. Now we finally move on to the scene from book 4. This is the part where Kuvira is trying to force a governor to relinquish control over his own state, and then she's trying to get him to sign this treaty. And then once again, you need to read this from top to bottom and then from right to left. So we have Gan Yi Bon Tiu Ye. Gan is kind of like a formality. This means to respectfully. Yi means to follow. Bon means this. Tiu Ye means treaty, agreement. So please respectfully follow this treaty. Gai Tai means dissolve. Yi Gok, this is the name of the state that Kuvira is trying to take control of. Gan Gui means according. Tin means formally. Sut means mention, so formally mentioned, so aforementioned. Tiu Fun means stipulations. Yao means by. So this describes something that's going to be done by Kuvira. And Kuvira is the Gokzai International, Yang Ming appointed, Tou Gok Earth Kingdom, Lam Si temporary. Dai Zhongtong means great president. Gamjok means metal clan. Gu Wei Lai is Kuvira. Bo means protect. Cup means and. Gonhat means govern. So what this means is that please dissolve your state, and then your state will be protected and governed by the internationally appointed Earth Kingdom temporary president Kuvira from the Metal Clan. And here we have the signatories. So this is Yi Gok, the name of the state that Kuvira is trying to take control of. Zhongtong, so the president. So this is basically the governor of the state that Kuvira is trying to take. And then this is just Kuvira. So you can see that these words are exactly the same as these words over here, less the Metal Clan. So yeah, I hope you found this video interesting. See you.